Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is jhammaster. I ain't wasting no time. This is an unpopular opinion video, of course, and we all know what we're here to talk about. And I want to start off by saying, shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. Shame on the people that will go on the comment section, and shame on the people that'll hit the dislike bar in this video. Go ahead. I'm encouraging you. It gives me some more promotion, whatever. And the reason I say shame on you is because now you're going to make me do a video defending this guy. It's not that I'm defending this guy. It's the fact that I'm defending this guy because of some nonsense. But if you need a rundown, because it's all on the internet, let's get to it. Kodak Black, Broward rapper, here from my neck of the woods of Florida. Well, I'm in Palm Beach, but I'm an hour away, along with XXXTentacion. Unfortunately, as I was getting a job in Broward, or I was trying to get a job in Broward, like 20 minutes away was a motorcycle shop. That was where XXXTentacion was slain, unfortunately. I only put that there because it just shows how close to Florida I am and how much I go back and forth from Palm Beach to Broward. No, I'm not moving like that yet, but I gotta start somewhere. But those two, obviously there's Wi-Fi Guy, Lil Skies, Lil Pump, who's from Tampa. So the newer rappers are coming from Florida, which are great. Soldier Kid's music is good too. But as far as Kodak Black is concerned, I've never really been a fan of him. I can see his appeal with black people, specifically Haitians. And yeah, I would have to agree. At one point, if it's one thing I will say, is that Kodak Black makes music for the Caucasians as well, because they think that's how black people should act, as silly and as new to the lifestyle of having money black people should act. I'm trying not to disrespect Kodak because he is a young kid, but I will say, I just haven't really been a fan of his music lyrically. He just does not connect to me. He does not connect for me. It's not for me. There's quite a couple of songs I can get into for its production values. But as far as him as an artist, they don't really fit well. And that's pretty much all I'm going to have to say about that. But I do respect the fact that he has something to say. And surprisingly enough, he doesn't really get flacked as far as his music is concerned compared to people like Blueface or Yachty, which Yachty was the face of disrespect when it came to what he said about and ironically, during this whole XXL 2016 year situation, Kodak was the one that initially said he was better than Biggie and Tupac. But Yachty was the one that got more of the disrespect because he was more open to challenging the older generation of hip-hop, while his generation was being challenged. Regardless of what kind of music they made, whether it be quote-unquote mumble rapping, I don't like using that word because it's disrespectful, or lyrical, one thing's for sure, there's a generation gap, and when a generation gets challenged, the male ego is so fragile that they just refuse to back down from a challenge. And that represents Kodak Black, and that represents the older generation. Now, going into this video after 4 minutes of the rundown, what got me to defending Kodak Black, and it all started over the weekend. Now, as you saw in my Cardi B video, I sent my condolences to Nipsey Hussle because as I recorded the video, I literally recorded the video the day he was murdered. Like, right when I was recording the video, I had just right before I was going to record the video. I had everything written down, and I saw that Nipsey was murdered. And there is no arguing and no debate on this. In 2019, May 30th, all the way, May 30th, all the way to, just get my calendar here, May 30th, or May 31st, all the way to April 7th has been the longest week of hip-hop music. And this goes down in 2019 as possibly one of the saddest moments in hip-hop. I would go as far as say the decade, but Nipsey Hussle started to get popping in 2017 when he signed his deal and when his album came out last year. That's when it started getting, a lot of tracks and titles for everyone's year. So it's a little late in the year, but definitely this is, at the end of the 2010 decade, we've lost, I would say, at least 3 important figures in hip hop. As controversial as it may, we lost XXXTentacion last year, as I previously mentioned what happened and where I was at that situation. 2 months later, in August, no, 3 months later in September, we ended up losing Mac Miller, and now, the beginning of this year, we lose Nipsey Hussle, and it really doesn't sound right. It definitely hit different, and it was definitely unexpected. With Mac Miller, Mac Miller hasn't really had a lot of attention during the last years of his life. Even when the last album came out, not too many people showed love until he passed away. But with X, it was different. X died. He died too soon. So X didn't even get pop. He just started. He had so much potential in his career, with his 2 albums that came out back to back within 6 months. A lot of people loved his versatility. People were fans of X. At least the younger people. If you were older, you probably weren't. But X's life was taken at 20 years old. So it was very unfortunate what happened to XXXTentacion. But Nipsey was different. With Nipsey, he died at 33. He died in the prime of his career. He just had a big album, and he was just establishing himself as a mogul in hip-hop, as an important figure in hip-hop, and he passed away because of senseless violence. Whether it be because of a conspiracy theory of him wanting to do a documentary or just regular street violence, it's not my place to argue which one was which, but unfortunately, a son, a father, and a fiance was taken, in the hands of envy and the ultimate sin of all, which is murder. I'm glad his murderer is in jail, and he, it's better to be sent to jail than to get killed, because there are some people willing to throw their lives away just because of a guy who threw his. Which we know, unfortunately, due to what people are saying on the streets. I'm not a street guy, but I hear that 2 people in the murderer's family were killed, and I think if they'd have nothing to do with it, why would you do that? But that's neither here nor there. That was the longest week of hip hop, period. Come Saturday, though, or come this week, 2 things happened that were like 2 people got it the worst because the timing of the situation was just wrong. The first person was Future. Future got it pretty bad. He compared himself to Nipsey, which I didn't think was that bad, but people just destroyed him on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, making Instagram memes and headlines. It's just like, it's not that serious, people. Like, why are we mad at Future for comparing himself to Nipsey? Because Nipsey did this, Future ain't do that. Okay, congratulations. There are a whole bunch of other Nipsey Hussles in your hood. You just don't support him. You just don't support him. Support black business, people. Support black business. But okay, Future is not Nipsey Hussle in any shape or form. But y'all, man, y'all came for this man's life. Jeez Louise. And just as I thought no one could get destroyed more than Future, someone decided to post an Instagram live of a conversation with Kodak Black and a couple of friends. Kodak Black pretty much talked about Lauren London in a nice, in my opinion, friendly conversation between friends. And he's pretty much just like, hey man, I'm gonna give her some time. You know, he said a year. I just took it as a time, you know, whatever. But I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You know, these are paraphrasing words here, but you can listen to the live if you want. The video's still there. He said, I would do whatever I can to be the best person because Nipsey Hussle was a good guy. You know, that's what I took from it. The problem is that not a lot of people are like me. And this is not an intelligence complex or a superiority complex. But this is just me saying in terms of not a lot of people have open minds. Or at least, so these people don't feel like I'm attacking them, not a lot of people heard it the way I heard it. Some people heard it as, I'm going to move in on his wife. Now that he's dead, I'll just give her some time to grieve. Depending on how you listen to it, it's a lot to take in. And my God, just like that, people forgot about Future and the anger was shifted all the way to Kodak Black. All the way. And I felt so bad for this guy because he wow. So many people were upset about this. You know, T.I. pretty much addressed him. BG Knockout, OG veteran BG Knockout addressed him. Justin Incredible, as I like to call him, because there's no way he's credible at all. Justin Non-Credible, you know, addressed him. Is that even a word? No, I don't think that's a word. But yeah, he addressed him. Said he wasn't playing his music. And out of all the people who came for Kodak, two reactions shocked me the most. The Game and Big Boy. The latter of the two really surprising me, which I definitely am going to have to start addressing. And I look at it and I'm just like, wow, you guys are really piling on. I've seen memes and disrespectful tweets and segments that if you remotely defend this guy like I'm about to do, you are considered a weirdo, a fan, disrespectful to the culture, somebody to be unfollowed, whatever it is. Apparently, it is considered illegal to defend Kodak Black because we're talking about the livelihood of an older woman. I'll put it to you like this. This gentleman, Kodak Black, obviously shouldn't have recorded his conversation. And I think it's going to get to a point that so many rappers now are going to have to tell their entourage to stop putting... Heck, it's going to even go as far as telling people to sign non-disclosures, because it just shows you how everything can get snatched away from you with things like this. Like I said, your music gets banned. You know, T.I. owns the Trap Museum in Atlanta. And now they're removing some of the portraits and some of the stuff from there. Like, it's like, wow, over a conversation. I literally, if we making comparisons here, because there are so many comparisons that people thought were ridiculous, I literally compare this to Donald Trump and the Access Hollywood video. You knew what he said. I don't have to say what Donald Trump said. You knew what he said on that bus. And it was recorded, and so many women came for this guy's life. They came for his life. I don't defend Donald Trump on those statements, even if it was private. Homie, you said some predatory things on there. And you have Donald Trump's defenders defending him, doing the dumbass argument ever. Well, rappers say it, so you're hypocritical. Any Republican that uses rap as a target to try to shield protection to Donald Trump while attacking us deserves to be hurt. I'm going to be that petty. But back to Kodak, that's exactly what it is. It's like Donald Trump in the Access Hollywood bus. You get caught in a conversation that gets sent public, and now people want to get rid of you. People want to cancel you, and I think it's stupid. It's stupid. And the reason why I think it's stupid is that, especially for T.I. in the game, T.I., for you should have never went on Instagram. And I agree with what Squally said. You know, you have this need to just go on social media to call out people like Floyd Mayweather and Kanye West and Lil Wayne. Even when you went at Kanye West, you said, I try to be quiet because of what happened with Lil Wayne, but I just can't stand it. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you just go out your way to do that? Like I said, you have his phone number. The guy has a private Instagram account. You know what I mean? No one goes on his Instagram and says, hey, y'all. No one can DM him privately. I mean, heck, Hot Boy Turk, is man enough to... Sorry, I sound like Blueface. Is man enough to have a IG live, and people like BG Knockout is like, nah, he can't come to California. And I got something to say about that too. But come on, T.I., you have, even if you don't have Kodak Black's number, we know how networking works, people. You can talk to somebody's manager, who can talk to this person, who can talk to that person, who can talk to this person. Trust me, after that Vlad interview with Tech Nine and him talking about how he got to link up with Lil Wayne, you can get his number. I know you can get his number. You can get his number. But alright. T.I. does that. He does this thing. He should have done it. He should have answered it. But, of course, you have people saying you're being a hypocrite because you're going on Instagram doing the same thing. Because maybe it's a general point. Are you that angry? Are you that intent on wanting to be angry with Kodak Black that you can't just pay attention and listen and just hear what this guy is saying? That's the first thing you want to say? Charlemagne the God said the same thing. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we coming at him? Sure, he gave him Donkey of the Day still, but why are we still coming at Kodak Black when you could have just easily given him a call? You know, West Coast Cam said the same thing, but people's reaction is, you're being a hypocrite because you're doing it. Or you could just listen, because this needs to be heard in the public, because some of these people, some of these very same people who come at Kodak Black, you know, are the same ones that go to these guys' pages and like their photos and comment on their photos and follow these people. So I think a majority of these people need to listen. Especially when West Coast Cam is literally saying, yo, we just ended beef within gangs, and this is what we're doing. This is a young man. The least y'all could have done was reach out to him. Especially if T.I. is telling him to fix it. And guess what? Kodak, in 2 occasions, went on live and Instagram and apologized. Only for fans of Nipsey Hussle to say things like, it's not sincere, I don't forgive you. Well, you know what, then maybe he shouldn't ask for an apology then. If that's how you feel, he shouldn't ask an apology. And you know what, that's as close as an apology as you're gonna get. Because guess what, Kodak Black said he's sorry to Lauren London and the family of Nipsey Hussle, but he's not sorry to any other guy who wants to check him and do all that. And you know what, why should he? Why should he? This is all fake outrage anyway. And to the game of all people, you are the last person to talk about disrespect and another man's wife. After you done made a song talking about choking down Kim Kardashian with your semen and Kylie Jenner. You didn't just talk about Kanye West's mother and the mother of his child. You talked about Travis Scott's mother of his child. You know what I mean? You talked about Travis Scott's wife. You know, oh, and let's not, I just named 2 people. Should I put another one? You know, you talked about another mother of a man's child. Sin Santana, Joe Budden's wife. You know what I mean? You know, Joe, you know, and yet you go on IG talking about, I said what I said. You know, why weren't people offended there? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it was Kanye West, the same guy who said slavery was a choice and all this stuff, who since then apologized for these statements. But no, y'all still mad at Kanye West. So y'all don't care what kind of disrespect you get from this man because he not doing nothing like Nipsey. All right, fine. But the last person who should be talking is the guy who loves to disrespect mothers and fiancés and wives. Game, you should never, ever talk about somebody disrespecting another man's wife at all. And that's what it gets to my point of selective outrage. Oh, that's right. Before I get to there, let's talk about Big Boy. I have a lot of respect for Big Boy as a personality, as a mogul, as, you know, big deal on the West Coast. But shame on you, Big Boy. You've disappointed me with this post. Out of all the people you let disrespect this culture on your show, people like Lil Xan and people like Blueface, those people I actually defend, but you let those people on your shows and people are mad that you let them on your show. Kodak Black says one thing about somebody's wife, you not playing them. You talking about shielding Lauren London. Well, what is this, the Avengers? The California Avengers? Y'all shielding people now? Y'all the Defenders or something? Y'all superheroes in California? You might as well. The way you coming at y'all seem more like super villain. This looks more like the Legion of Doom, the way I see it, because y'all just piling up doing evil stuff. You know, it's shame. It's a shame. But I'm very disappointed, Big Boy, because It's one thing for Justin non-incredible. It's one thing for Justin non-credible to say something. To say, I'm banning Kodak Black the way he banned 6ix9ine. Oh, come on. He's just a white guy trying to get accepted into the culture. And I don't like talking about white people and cultural appropriation, but we know why he's doing it. Ever since Big Boy left the LA Leakers, he was doing whatever he can to get accepted. And I got a news flash for you, buddy. It's gonna be a while before you get accepted. Not saying you won't. So all you LA guys out there, I'm not saying you won't. But if you disagree with what I'm saying, claim him right now. Don't wait years. Claim him right now. Don't tell me you gotta earn stripes. He's working for y'all. You working for him now. Claim him now. That's all I gotta say. But Big Boy, you're better than this, and I know you're better than this. You invite so many of the young people. You're so much better. You're so much level-headed that the fact that you just went out your element to say these things disappoint me, because now you've resulted into this childish act of Instagram and social media. Like that disappoints me. But most importantly, we gonna talk about Stevie J. Now you can say, well, Jamil, what does Stevie J got to do with this? Very simple. Stevie J is married to Faith Evans. The last time I checked, Biggie was married to Faith Evans. Whew. Now, you can make the argument of, well, he waited 20 years. Didn't Kodak said he was going to wait? What's the difference between 1 year and 20 years? You know what I mean? Granted, you can make the perfectly good argument that it's up to the widower. And you're definitely right. It is up to the widower to move on. But you see, I'm not going to disrespect Lauren London, but I've seen her track record. And, well, while this is definitely hard on her, most definitely hard on her, I'm pretty sure Kodak just got about the same shot as anyone else in the industry. And let's be honest, so many people actually want to shoot their shots. And granted, it's all about respect. But also, death do your part. Death do us part, people. And granted, Nipsey hasn't been on the ground yet before he's done this. But Nipsey Hussle has passed away. He's passed away. And Kodak Black obviously said he would improve her. It doesn't mean anything, because now you're just competing with a dead man. But even then, it just doesn't, you know, like, it doesn't make sense. Because Stevie J literally said he was plotting on Faith Evans while her and Biggie were married. So is it really not grimy, or people just have selective outrage? And I really believe that this is what it's all about. Selective outrage. People just want to be mad because they want to be mad. And that gets to my point to BG Knockout. And we're banning Kodak from coming to California. This whole thing was just as dumb as when Skrilla banned academics from coming to Florida. And yeah, he deleted that picture, and yeah, he deserved to. But that whole thing of banning people from coming to Florida, and someone told BG, well, y'all can't come to Florida, y'all do something. And BG's response was, who'd want to come to Florida? Look, my guy, I know you watch Breakfast Club and you think just because Charlamagne makes fun of Florida all the time that all of a sudden, we're this crazy nation and every one of the other 49 states plus 3 territories is normal. But that's not how that works, people. Since you want to disrespect Florida and say who wants to come to Florida, well, here's the response to that question. Who'd want to come to California besides rich white people? Tell me some blacks that want to come to California. If they don't have family there, who would want to go to California? You know what I mean? If you're not rich or white, who would want to go to California? Go on, answer that question. I mean, since YG wants to make a song called Come to LA, and in that song, a featured rapper by the name of 80 wants to say, remember, this was a place that people used to be scared to come around here. I'm pretty sure California is not as bad as you say, but I know Florida ain't as bad as people look at it. But yeah, who'd want to go to California? Since people get robbed, you can't wear red and blue if you're not repping a gang. If you haven't put in any work, if you're not respected in the hood, you can't wear any red and blue. Apparently, as Nipsey Hussle would say, you can't buy money, you can't buy love, power, respect in the hood, and people extort you. You know what I mean? Since it's now for protection, you gotta pay for protection, otherwise known as checking in. Why would I want to spend so much money for protection in LA when I know I can go to any other state like Louisiana and not have to worry about being touched? Like, why would I waste my time on some nonsense like that? In my opinion, I don't think I would want to go to California. Trust me, or at least I wouldn't want to come to the hoods. I'm just saying. People can't even be a rapper without getting robbed in the studio. Like, is this mob mentality, this power mentality of extortion and needing protection, which is just stupid. And like West Coast Cam said, we ended a decade-long war between many people of the gangs unifying over Nipsey's death just so we can shift our anger to someone else. And I know there are some Haitians that want to be cool and say, oh, as the Haitian delegation, we don't claim Kodak Black. No, don't do that. Don't try to be different, because there are plenty of Haitians that will claim him. A lot of young people will claim him. And last but not least, I want to address another thing, because this one really makes me mad. Are the fans, some of the older generation that likes to comment on Nipsey. When I see words like roach and gremlin, and special ed, that really fires me up. Especially the word roach, because clearly Minaj just accused Cardi B of being called a roach, but it's not cool for Cardi to do it. But then again, the same black people that love to talk about pro-black, trust me, I've seen a lot of your profiles to make this assumption and make this video. Y'all really love to throw that disrespectful word to your own people, and that's a shame. That's a shame. That's a darn shame. You're just calling them a roach, and then you're making fun of mental health. You're making fun of mental health too on top of that, which is even worse because people always talk about how serious of an issue that mental health is, but yet you're saying this is what happens when someone from ESC gets a rap deal. This is what happens when you let special ed people. I'm like, shame on y'all. Shame on all of you guys for being this disrespectful. Well, if he's not going to respect Nipsey, why should I? Because, stupid. It's called stooping to somebody's level, and that's what you're doing. You're stooping to someone's level. And because of that, why should I take you seriously as a person speaking on deep issues if all you're going to do is disrespect somebody for just having, in my opinion, a simple conversation? I don't think I need to at this point. And like I said in my last video, and it is so funny. Y'all people are still fans of Cardi B. And you will find every reason to explain why she's done this. She's done everything she's done in this culture, and there's no cancel of her. I mean, I won't cancel her, so I'm a hypocrite. But it's just nobody has consistency, and everyone's being a hypocrite. And the people that call Charlemagne and Cam and Squally a hypocrite lets me know that none of them are anything but hit dogs. All these people who responded and calling them hypocrites and getting mad and want to play that card are nothing but hit dogs who holler. A hit dog will holler. A guilty dog will bark first, or whatever analogy that describes it just shows that y'all are guilty. You guys are guilty. You guys know what you're doing is wrong. Someone even said, someone wants to point out, well, Charlemagne did this, that. Okay. Well, Nip did this and did that too. Lauren London did this and did that. Oh, and what I love the most is when people like John Stone, and I'm calling out because I respect them, saying things like, who would want to date Kodak Black? Why would Lauren London want to date Kodak Black? He looks like a roach. Are we forgetting that Lauren London has a kid by Lil Wayne? You know what? I'll put the link in the description to pretty much describe the best description of Lil Wayne. I feel bad about doing this because he's my favorite rapper. But that kind of sums up, And in this video, it talks about the fact that Lauren London got pregnant by Lil Wayne and why did it happen. But with that being said, I think if it's one thing I will agree with a Kodak detractor, is that he said people defending Kodak Black or going to bat for Kodak Black are very exhausted. And this is the first time I've made my defense of Kodak Black public. And less than 40 minutes of talking of this subject does not continue to describe how exhausted I am, because this whole week of Nipsey has been very exhausting and draining to my energy, your energy, everyone's energy. Can we at least respect the fact that acknowledge the fact that someone got killed? Please. This is Jhammaster signing out. No fancy words, because I'm just that tired.